Hey, hello guys, welcome back, and this is the BitKwa Podcast, where we look forward to helping you learn about Bitcoin, how you can make some or gain some for yourself, and also use it for the best of yourself and humanity. And on this episode, we have a guest in the house, and this is not just beauty alone, this is the beauty with the brain, and that is in the person of Sabina. I want Sabina to introduce herself just a bit before we move on. Sabina, the floor is yours. How you doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing well.
I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. I appreciate it. So,
You're welcome.
my name is Sabina Waithira Gitau, and I am a Kenyan Bitcoiner, and I love dogs, and I'm excited to be here and talk about Bitcoin. So, thank you so much,
Awesome.
Ayo, for having me.
Thank you too for being our guest on this show. Now, not to take much of our time for both the viewers and we ourselves, let's jump right into it. Now, looking at the Bitcoin journey, can you walk us through how you discovered Bitcoin One and how or what led you to co-founding Tando?
All right, so let's start with my Bitcoin journey.
Sure.
I first heard of Bitcoin in 2018, and I've told these stories, I think, so many times now. I was in campus still, and the way Bitcoin was introduced to us back then was through a pyramid scheme. So, and this is very common in Africa. I'm sure like people have had these
Say
stories.
for me, that was my experience.
Exactly. So they came to school, they had like this WhatsApp group, and they were telling us that, uh, put your money, invest your money with us, and in two
Yeah.
weeks it would have doubled. And in campus, you guys, you're young, you want to make like quick cash because you need to
Sure.
spend on A,
Sure.
B, C, and D. So people don't even think, and you just go with it. So a few of my friends actually went ahead and invested, but personally, I did not. And the main reason was because I was broke and I didn't want to like waste money.
I'm not
So
laughing. I'm not laughing.
no, I'm so grateful I was broke because I didn't do that. But then my friends did it, and after 2 weeks, no, it was like crickets, nothing. That's how their money was gone. But
Wow.
that like sparked a curiosity in me and my friends as well. And it was like, what is this Bitcoin thing? And I went on the internet, decided to Google it. And basically, what I understood back then was that Bitcoin is just digital money. And I didn't really get the difference between that and M-Pesa because in Kenya, M-Pesa is our version of mobile money and it's
Yeah.
digital. So I didn't get the difference between Bitcoin and M-Pesa. I just thought like it's doing the same thing. So I just brushed it off and I moved on with my life. And then a few years later, I graduated and I was job hunting. And, here in Africa, once you complete or you finish your degree, it's hard out here. There are no jobs. And this is just a reality for so many of us, so many graduates, and it just goes to show you how broken the education system is as well. But anyway, I graduated, looked for jobs, couldn't find any, so I decided to get into freelancing, and that's when I landed like a gig with a company called Rev. It's an American transcription company, and I would just
Okay.
transcribe podcasts and just a lot of files. And in this podcast, they were talking a lot about cryptocurrencies. So that's when
Wow.
it sparked my curiosity again about Bitcoin because they would mention Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all these things. They were the crypto bros back then, their
Sure.
podcast. So again, I was like, wow, this is my sign to, look more into this because I had always been curious about it. And I started looking for resources again, but I was confused because there's so many cryptocurrencies, like so many coins. Which one should I choose? So I hit up one of my friend who was familiar with the game, and he was like, download Coinbase and buy Solana. That's all he said, and I was like, are you sure?
Okay. I'm not laughing.
Downloaded
I'm not laughing at
Coinbase.
that as well. It's a
So I
journey.
downloaded. Yeah, it is exactly. But so I downloaded Coinbase and did the KYC and everything, but still something in me was like, no, do not do this. So I did not, and I ignored it. And then 2 years later, I was on the internet and I was searching about, the Bitcoin scene in Kenya, and that's when I came across Bitcoin data,
Oh,
and I joined the course. I graduated successfully. I was top of my class, me and my classmates Natalie. And then after that, I was lucky enough, I landed a job just right after graduating at Bitcoin Data as their content manager and content creator and social media manager. And I would say it's in that role that I truly understood what Bitcoin is, and I got to gain a lot of knowledge because when you're creating content you have to do a lot of research, read a lot of
sure.
newsletters, YouTube videos, so all that, like, it really helped me to understand Bitcoin better and truly like get its essence. So yeah, that's it. After Bitcoin data, I used to get paid in Bitcoin sometimes. So you
Mm.
know, my when I get paid in Bitcoin, so I mean it's time to pay for my bills. So my
So,
landlord
so, I,
does
so I can send
not.
you my wallet right now. You send like 5 Bitcoin.
He wish, if only wishes were
I
horses.
wish, as in.
Uh, so
All right.
yeah, when I get paid in Bitcoin, like I had my bills. Like for example, I was giving an example of my landlord. I needed to pay him in Bitcoin. I mean, I needed to pay rent, but he does not accept Bitcoin. My shop down there, where I buy my groceries and everything, they don't accept Bitcoin. So I noticed this
Mm.
gap where, I could not spend my Bitcoin directly whenever I wanted to. So I had to go on exchanges, sell that Bitcoin for USD, and then sell the USD for Kenyan
Mm.
shillings. And this process was
Sure.
very tiresome. It was very frustrating sometimes.
And
And
definitely taking some little percentages of the capital or whatever it is.
exactly, like the transaction fee. So you get paid this amount of money, and one they cut the transaction fee, and you're left
Almost
with
30% is
nothing.
gone already.
Exactly, and you have bills to pay. So I was like, you know what? I wish there was a simple way we could spend Bitcoin here in Kenya. Like we people spend
Mm.
money on M-Pesa because M-Pesa it's everywhere here. It's our way of life. It's embedded in the way we live life. And yeah, that's how the idea of Tando was born. But it was
Awesome.
also so many other things leading to the idea, not just that one thing. But to
Okay.
sum it up, that is my Bitcoin journey and how Tando was inspired.
Great. I had initial conversation with you regarding something regarding old and spending and basically the evolution of Bitcoin adoption. You mentioned over that time that moving from the old era, like, okay, they say it was a misspelling of Odin, right? But from the old era, that is in HODL, old
The-
era, to the spending era. Now, would you want to give more light on that? Like, what does this shift mean for Bitcoiners, and how do you see it playing out in Africa as a whole?
So, the HODLing era, for me, yeah, in my opinion, we are moving from
Mm-hmm.
HODLing to spending. I mean, that's why
Sure.
Tando is here. That's why we built Tando. So, I would start by saying that for something to be considered as money, it has to go through three main stages, right? And that is store of
Okay.
value, medium of exchange, and then unit of account. And Bitcoin has already won as a store of value. Like that's a no-brainer. Everyone knows that. Like it's the best uh, investment, like digital assets. And there's that graphic that goes around in the Bitcoin space that shows you if you invested in real estate 10 years ago and you bought Bitcoin at the same time, like Bitcoin would have outperformed real estate like
Sure.
today.
Sure.
So, as a store of value, Bitcoin has already won. And now
Mm-hmm.
we are into the second stage, which is medium of exchange. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like this is where, yeah, we are supposed now to, encourage people to spend their Bitcoin. And again, that's why we created Tando. We need to create more
But
utility
the
for
other
Bitcoin.
end, as they spend, they should also find a way to make more or earn
Yes,
more.
you earn, you spend, and replace and repeat. Like it's a
Sure.
cycle,
Sure.
of course. So, like for me, I told you I used to get paid in Bitcoin, and I would spend it, I would save some, spend some, and then keep working so I can
Gain
replace. So
some.
it's just like
Sure.
how you do with your fiat. but now you're applying that to Bitcoin. And I see Bitcoin thriving as a medium of exchange here in Africa, just because, to start with, our systems, they failed us, the traditional way of moving money, our currencies. We have 42 currencies in the continent, which makes trading very difficult, or even moving money from, you're in Nigeria, I'm in Kenya, like moving money from Nigeria to
Okay.
Kenya, the traditional
I'm,
way.
I'm the one asking the question, but just a little bit of my experience when I came. Okay, I think I came for Block Africa or something like that, a blockchain event in Kenya. That was last year, and I had few naira with me. But when I landed in, was it Kenyatta Airport, right?
Yes, Kenyatta, yeah, Jomo Kenyatta.
Kenyatta, pardon me. I would say I was just there all by myself, but there was no way for me to get even a cup of coffee because I couldn't make payment and they were not receiving Bitcoin. I was lucky to have a friend come pick me. Oh no no no! The experience was I got a guide to guy. Oh, I don't have cash right now, but
Yeah.
by tomorrow I will still be in this hotel. By that time, I will be able to get some Kenya shillings. And between that period, about maybe like 12 hours, I was able to call my friend in Kenya. I gave my friend some Bitcoin. She gave
And
some
cash.
Kenya shillings, and that was how I was able to pay. So imagine that Tando was existing that time. It would have been very way much easier,
Yeah,
right? So I
yeah.
just wanted to share that part of my experience as well. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So you see, like as a Nigerian, you cannot use your naira in Kenya. And personally, for me, as a Kenyan, I cannot use my Kenyan shillings in
Definitely.
Nigeria, but we can use Bitcoin. Bitcoin is
Sure.
neutral and it does not threaten like the financial sovereignty of another country. Like it just compared to the dollar, because the dollar does threaten financial sovereignty of nations. But anyway, going back to the medium of exchange conversation we were having. So, where was I? Sorry, I've lost track. We were saying, yeah, the
Oh,
fact we have
no, you've
42
mentioned the
currencies.
first one as the store of value made of exchange.
Yes, and I was saying that we have 42 currencies, which
Yeah.
makes trading very difficult, or even like moving money between countries. And, this is why only, I was reading somewhere, this is why only 15% of African trade happens within the continent, while 60% of Africa's trade happens like in continents like Europe and Asia. And this is
That's
because
true.
of, the friction between our currencies. But
The
imagine
flow of
if we
currency.
had one currency that unites all of us, like Africa would thrive, our economy would thrive. So I
No,
see
sure.
Bitcoin as that equalizer for all of us. And this is like people are gonna start, not even gonna start, people have already started using Bitcoin for cross-border payments. They started using it for remittances. They use it for their day-to-day lives. Just the other day, there's this Tanzanian Bitcoiner. His name is Man Like Quex, and he's a
Oh,
Bitcoin rapper, and he's also the
yeah.
founder of Bitcoin Arusha. It's the first Bitcoin circular economy in Tanzania.
Oh, I think they
And
had
he was
a
just,
dance competition some days ago.
yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
the fun thing about that is he invited Felix. Felix is a Kenyan Bitcoiner here from the call to
Yeah,
go and be
the
a
call.
special guest there. And he was in Tanzania. He needed to purchase a bus ticket. So guess what? He just took out his Tando app, and with his Bitcoin and Lightning wallet, he was able to pay for Felix's
Nice one.
ticket, and yeah, purchased that ticket from a bus company here in Kenya. And it was instant, it was fast. Like, no, that party's in there, nobody's stopping you. You don't have to go and write fill so many documents, queue, and all that. Like, Bitcoin just makes it, easy. So that's one case of cross-border payments. And I know there's so many other Africans who are using Bitcoin as,
Sure.
a mode
Sure.
of cross-border payment. You have MavaPay in Nigeria, right? And I
Yes, we do.
believe they facilitate, yeah, cross-border payments, and they use Bitcoin as their base layer. So it's already happening. For remittances as well, like we've had countless people reach out to us at Tando. They're like, thank you so much for this service. There was this guy from Canada the other day. He's like, I use it to send my family. I use it to send money back home. It's very convenient. Because, before, yeah, money used to take days
Take
to get to the
days.
family's account. Yeah.
About five,
And
10% is gone.
that part, especially, you work so hard for your money, you want to move it, you
And
have to
some
ask
and somebody sitting
permission.
somewhere said because I am
And
making the
someone,
transaction possible, I'm taking some chunks
yeah,
of it. That's
exactly.
not fair.
That is that is not freedom, and this is why like I'm very pro
Sure,
Bitcoin
sure.
because it's freedom. And then so yeah, we our failed financial system, our failed financial infrastructures, they've led us to just use Bitcoin as a medium of exchange because we have no other choice. And as humans, we are always looking for alternatives. If plan A is not working, we are looking for plan B. And Bitcoin is
Sure.
already here. The best part is we don't need permission from anyone, and we are taking that and running with it. So this is why I see Bitcoin thriving as a medium of exchange, and I say we are in that era. It's coming from an African who lives in Africa and is building a Bitcoin Africa a product that caters to
Awesome.
Africans.
That's good. So
So
it's very, I think
yeah,
it's very key, and I think we need to spread that idea of going from just, oh, I need to stack to I need to transact, because the more you use the funds, or the more you use Bitcoin to do transaction, yes, it gives it more value as a medium of exchange, and through that, it enables more people to know about it, and the more people know about it, the better the
exactly.
value increase of the
Yeah,
coin
and
in itself.
true. And like you just reminded me, hodling Bitcoin is great, but spending it, that's where like you unlock Bitcoin's true power. Like it was meant to
Sure.
be a
the,
peer-to-peer
the main
cash
core and
service.
purpose of Bitcoin, the peer-to-peer, the P2P transaction.
Exactly. So once
Yeah.
the moment you're spending it, that's when like you're bringing Satoshi's dream and vision to
Sure.
life. And then, like, um, money is meant to be spent. Money is meant to
It's
circulate.
not currency. It's
It's like
current. It needs to flow.
yes, exactly. So if you just have it in cold storage, I mean, that's not the law. You're going against the laws of the universe. And I'm not saying hodling is bad. You hold like a certain percent and then spend a
Sure.
certain percent. Like
Which,
if you
no,
want,
I would say is a principle of finance in itself, or a principle of the richest man in Babylon, right? You are meant to save some amounts you have, whatever you earn, at least save some percentage. So the principle of holding some is still okay. But you just keeping everything and said that, oh, because they told me. Now, if that is your philosophy, it's fine.
true.
But we're just saying that it will be better if
Yeah,
you can
to
transact
see.
with it as well.
Exactly. And then they always say like there's no value without exchange. So if you're holding something, it means that you're gonna use it at some point in your life. It might be 2 hours from now, 24 hours, 85 years, but you're still gonna use it. So
That's good.
make it make so
Let,
yeah,
let,
it
let,
has
let
to
me,
be.
let us dive into the Bitcoin circular economy. I know you're passionate about Bitcoin right now.
Yeah.
Definitely, you're already into the circular economy. Can you share some success story? You mentioned about Afribit Kibira earlier in our conversation, about Bitcoin babies and Bitcoin Chama. Do you want to elaborate on that as it regards to Bitcoin circular economy, so that at least we just help people watching this to understand the idea of, we're not just saying learn Bitcoin as a subject, there is an exchange, there are products you can use to transact. How does all this revolves around Bitcoin circular economy?
All right. So yeah, right now I'm very passionate about Bitcoin circular economies. For me, they are a very powerful catalyst when it comes to Bitcoin adoption. And I love them
Awesome.
because they're like a sneak peek into how the future would look like a Bitcoin utopia. You go there and you're like, wow, this is how, yeah. Once like a hyper Bitcoinization happens, this is how life will be. And I just love them so much. And then the other parties, they're built on community. Like that's the foundation layer of most circular economies. And in communities, trust is very key, trust and word of mouth.
Sure.
So
Sure.
once like they see one member is into Bitcoin, they
They
also
too
want
want
to
to get
get into
involved.
it. And
Sure.
then they'll go and tell their neighbor, oh, person A or like Ayo knows about Bitcoin and he was teaching me, you should like get into it. And because they already trust you, they just, naturally also transition to Bitcoin, and that's why I
Or
love.
just imagine a
Um,
scenario. Oh, I went into the market and there was this transaction. Instead of it waiting for about 5 minutes, it took about just 10 seconds, and it was fast. And they
yes,
call it this thing. They call it Bitcoin. So the word of mouth makes it very much easier and faster.
exactly. So this is why I really love Bitcoin circular economy
Price.
because it's so easy for. Oh, so I was saying, Bitcoin circular economies because of the trust, the word of mouth. Bitcoin like spreads, they're like wildfire, and this is why I see them as a very powerful catalyst when it comes to adoption. And I've been privileged to visit a couple of circular economies here in Kenya. We have AfriBeat, Bitcoin Babies, and Bitcoin Chama. And for me, it's just like seeing the value that Tando has been providing to these communities and individuals. Like it was so humbling. And I was like, yeah, this is why we truly need Bitcoin. So, for example, when we went to AfriBeat, so AfriBeat Kibera, it's this circular economy. It's located in one of the largest slum actually in Nairobi called Kibera, and
Wow.
these are like minority communities in the slums, of course. And once you step foot there, you see how the traditional financial system is just against them. It has locked them out. But then here comes Bitcoin, and Bitcoin like gives them a new opportunity to participate in global economy, and it levels the ground for them, and they're finally included somewhere. So when we went
Sure.
there, like
Sure.
there's this the houses, they're like a valley, so they call it the Bitcoin Valley, and all the merchants they're
Wow.
accepting Bitcoin. It's so surreal. I feel like you have to go there to truly feel it and feel that impact. Like it, yeah. So when I was there, I like saw that Bitcoin universe, the Bitcoin utopia, and you see like these people are happy. The way they talk about Bitcoin, like it has changed my life. I love it so much. I want to keep saving for my kids, for my
Wow.
future generations. Like it gives them that chance to finally break out of these poverty cycles that have been imposed on them and because of the system, and they're very happy and open to it. The best thing about these people is like they're open to learning. But my favorite part was we were talking to this one merchant, and she was like, at first she was very skeptical about accepting Bitcoin, and this is very common, especially if you don't know so much about it. And when the Afrobeat guys they introduced Tando to her, she like that's when she gained confidence when they showed her how she can turn her Bitcoin revenue that she'll be collecting into goods and services. She was like, yeah, it was an no-brainer. She was like, I'm in. And this brings me down to the point of proof of spend. So we came up with this concept called proof of spend at Tando, and it's the idea that if you can prove to people that Bitcoin is money, if they can, you can be able to demonstrate to them Bitcoin in action, like give them
Sure.
Bitcoin, have them walk into the supermarket,
And
and
get
then exchange that
something.
Bitcoin for milk, bread, or whatever, and then they walk out. In that moment, Bitcoin becomes tangible and real to them,
Yeah.
like they see it. And we're
They'll
Africans,
spread the
seeing is
word more.
believing.
Like, do you know I got this bread? I spent
Yes,
Bitcoin. Or if you understand
exactly.
Satoshi, but I think the Bitcoin will flow more. Like, oh guys, I got it with Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yes, all people need to know about Bitcoin is it's money, and yes, you can buy A, B, C, D with it. That's all
Commodities
people
with it,
need
sure.
to know. And Tando has really been good at that, like communicating that. And once people see that, it just clicks.
I love the way you've been talking about Tando, because I know Tando is your brainchild and your baby right now that you're
My
taking very good
firstborn,
care. Your what?
my firstborn.
Oh, okay. I'll put that in your profile. So, can you tell us the impact of Tando right now? Like, what has Tando achieved? I know Tando has achieved a lot. So, from facilitating Bitcoin transaction to supporting merchants, as you've said, what has been the most rewarding moment for you in this journey of Bitcoin in Tando in itself?
There've been so many moments actually, now that I'm thinking about
List
it.
them. Let's hear about
Yeah.
your
So
firstborn.
the first one, just yeah, like what I said about the merchants, because this is the reality in so many Bitcoin circular economies. And then the merchant is always like the last step to close that circle and keep it like
Sure.
spinning. So if the merchant is not accepting Bitcoin, then that circular economy, there'll
It's not
be
complete.
some hindrances. So
Sure.
once a merchant is accepting Bitcoin, then we are in full force and the flywheel just kicks off and it's going and going. So in circular economies, Tando has played a very crucial role. And when we even like visit them, we tell the individuals, Tando is not for you. Tando is just for merchants. When they need to go out in the big city, like outside their small community, they have to go and restock their shelves, right? And
Sure.
this is where they have to turn their BTC revenue into maybe the milk and bread and all that. So they need Tando when they go out there because their suppliers are not accepting Bitcoin yet. Eventually they will. But for now, Tando, that's where like the big role of Tando comes in. And that has been very rewarding for us at Tando. Like I would say that's our first big achievement. It's just we help Bitcoin circular economies just keep going. Then the other achievement, yes.
Before you talk about that, I had a transaction with a friend some few days ago, and she sent a screenshot of a transaction with me. And the interface looked like that of Tando, and I said, "Did you Tando? Have you Tandoed it to me?" I was using it as as a word.
Tando.
Have you Tandoed it to me?
Oh, that's funny because that's how they say it in the circular economies. They've started a name for it at
So
Afribit. They're
I'm
like, please
connected
Tando
then.
me. Yeah. So that's cool to see. Was it Tando that they were using?
No, 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 no. I later asked. She said Tando doesn't do the likes of sending. Is basically just the way you kind of call it, working with merchants to be able to buy and sell, but it's not for necessarily for sending between wallets like Lightning and
Wow.
right. If I'm
Yeah.
correct.
So Tando right now it's if was she Nigeria? Is she Nigerian, your friend? Is
No,
she
no,
in
no. She's in
Nigeria?
Kenya actually.
Oh, she's in Kenya. She should be able to use Tando to pay
No, no.
anywhere.
She's able to use Tando, but I was asking that did she send me because she sent it to my Moon wallet.
Oh,
So I was
Tando
asking that
cannot.
did you? Yeah. So she was saying that you can't really send such,
Yeah, it's
but
just
it's
to like
mainly
a
for you to
Kenyan
purchase
number.
around and also within Kenya, right?
Yes. But you
Yeah.
in Nigeria, you can send money to her using Tando.
Oh, yeah. At least within the same interface, like Tando to Tando, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So not Tando to Tando, Tando to a Kenyan user, because the receiver doesn't even need to have the Tando app. All they need
To
is like,
receive it.
yeah, all they need is to be a registered M-Pesa number. That's it. If they have a registered M-Pesa number, that's all they
I'm
need.
thinking maybe all right. Or what will happen is that in this episode, I'm going to attach possibly a an explainer video link of how Tando works, if I can get that from you, so that people can really understand how Tando works,
I would like
and
to
they can
say
make
it
use of it.
here because we don't
All right,
have a
please go
video.
ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know, but well, we are diverting from.
No, no. Basically, Sabina is invited, or she's representing Tando. All right, we just need to understand your general overview of Bitcoin, and this is your. Oh, come on, how won't we talk about your firstborn?
Okay. So, but to just finish on, we were talking about Tando's achievements, and you
Yes, please.
said the merchants, that's one, like it's a huge one for us. The other one is we recently hit 10,000 completed transaction. We've processed 10,000 from last December. So that's like really huge. And
Good
for
one.
me, it was not just about those numbers, but it was proof like, Bitcoin is money and people are actually using it. And people have found value in Tando. And it just
Research.
like attested to people really needed this solution. Because even when we started Tando and we'd look at the transaction volume every day, I'm like, you mean like this many people have Bitcoin, they know
Are
about
using
Bitcoin, and now they're
this?
spending it. It's like it's like people are just waiting for this solution to come and then spend. Give them an easy way to
Nice,
spend their Bitcoin and they were ready. And this goes back to
nice.
our first point where people will always look for alternatives if like their
True.
system A is not working and Bitcoin just happens to be there. So congratulations to my team and I for the 10K. That's like
Well
a
done.
huge
Well done.
achievement. The other one will just be, yeah, facilitating remittances and helping people send money back to their families, facilitating cross-border payments. It's just been an amazing journey of providing value back to people. These people work so hard. They work so hard to earn their money and they should have an easy way to spend that money without
Sure, sure.
without permission, without like all those cards that go
Without
to
losing value of the money
exactly without
itself.
losing value or this, and we're happy to provide that. So those like are like our biggest achievements,
Awesome.
and there have been so many more, but I don't we can always talk about them another day. But to explain Tando now to a person who has never heard of it. So Tando
Okay,
is
please go ahead.
a mobile app that allows you to easily spend your Bitcoin anywhere in Kenya. M-Pesa is accepted. So you get to spend your Bitcoin while the merchant receives Kenyan shillings. So Tando is basically a bridge between Bitcoin users who have Bitcoin and they're ready to spend their Bitcoin and merchants who are not accepting Bitcoin yet. Because like I told you earlier, I used to get paid in Bitcoin. I was ready to spend my
Sure.
Bitcoin, but I didn't have an easy way to do that. And when 2 years ago, even before we got the idea of Tando, we had started a habit of tipping like the service workers in Bitcoin instead of fiat because we wanted to raise more awareness, and we're
Sure.
Bitcoiners, so we shout about Bitcoin and we talk about Bitcoin everywhere we go. And these people would like be so excited to accept this Bitcoin. I'm telling you, they don't even know, but they're like ready to accept it again because our system is failing us and people are looking for alternatives. And every time we'd send them Bitcoin to their account. So we used to create Bitcoin accounts for them. And I remember I was a Machankura orange pillar back then. Shout out to
Yeah.
Machankura. So I would onboard people with my special code and then get sats in
Yeah, get
return.
the
And I was so happy to
referral.
do that. So yeah, after creating a Machakuran account for them, we would send them sats there, and once the sat hit their wallet, they would look at it and then look back at us, and they're like, "So how can I spend this money? You're telling me it's money, so show me how I can spend it." And we didn't have a great answer to that question, considering most of these people are newbies to Bitcoin. You're not
So
going
you
to
created
direct
a
them.
solution to the problem people were asking then,
Yes,
but you also
yes, we
surprised at the total number of people that responded to the solution that you provided.
exactly. So this and like I was saying, these people are newbies. We cannot direct them to exchanges. That would like confuse them more. And already
Sure.
people have this misconception about Bitcoin that it's complicated. So once you send them to exchange, it's just like
KYC setting and all those plenty
yes, and all
things.
that. It just affirms to them that yeah, this thing is not for me. So that's when we were like, yeah, we need an easy solution that we can just help people to convert their Bitcoin directly into basic goods without the blah 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 in between.
I get
And
simplicity is key.
yeah, so that was it. Simplicity is key. So Tando was meant for that, like helping people convert their Bitcoin directly into basic goods and services. And I mentioned that Tando it works here in Kenya anywhere M-Pesa is accepted. So for those who are not familiar, M-Pesa is our version of mobile money here in Kenya. And M-Pesa was the first telco actually to be invented or built in Africa, and it's been an inspiration to many other telcos. And so, like in Kenya, that's 4 million people of our population. They use M-Pesa. Like literally, it's everywhere. You go from your street vendor who's selling stuff on the street to restaurants, to supermarkets, to big hotels, to government offices. M-Pesa is everywhere. And we've just like integrated Bitcoin into that network, and by allowing a Bitcoin small b to be used as a currency. So it's just like adding a new powerful feature to these M-Pesa payment rails,
And if I can
and
add it,
that
that means
way,
that as they just come in, let's say now all of this sector that you just mentioned, let's just maybe about 0.01% is currently or loves Bitcoin or they are Bitcoiner. So as they get to fall in love or they get to join the Bitcoin community, there's no need of saying we are over onboarding you or orange peeling you. Okay, the question is, oh, we've heard about this already. I'm already using M-Pesa. Tando is already linked with M-Pesa. If I get to earn Bitcoin anyway, or somebody gifts me Bitcoin, I already know the process of how I can spend it.
yes.
So that's a great one.
Yeah, so
That's a
that's
great
it.
one.
So Tando, like to Kenyans, it's not that alien because it's basically like an M-Pesa but for Bitcoin, and
Sure.
building on like this M-Pesa rails that everyone was familiar with, it was not hard for them to transition into Bitcoin. And again, like simplicity. So, and listening to what people want. That's how
But
Bitcoin
let me
is.
ask this. I know you guys overcame a lot of skepticism, right? Many merchants in Kenya possibly were initially skeptical about, and some will still be skeptical about accepting Bitcoin. Can you share how Tando helped change their perception? Like maybe what you do, not really your trade secrets, but if you want to share, I'm willing to learn. What lesson can, like, how did Tando change their perception, and what other lesson or what lesson can other Bitcoin communities learn from this? Because as BitKwa, just a little bit of it, we are a non-profit, but we are building community around it and also working with other circular economy, all right, to make sure that we educate more merchants, right? So this will be very, very resourceful to them.
So, in the Bitcoin space, there's this, we always say, don't trust, verify, right? Like that's
Sure.
very big in the Bitcoin space. And I think it's the same when you're building a product or like pitching Bitcoin to people. Don't just tell them about it. Provide a way or a means for them to trust, not only trust it, but also verify it. And for us here in Kenya, Tando is the perfect tool for that. So, like I told you earlier, we came up with a concept called proof of spend. If you can prove to people that Bitcoin is money, then that's it. That's all they need to know. Give them Bitcoin, and then like they can be able to pay for their rent or pay for their transport. That's all they need to know. In that moment when they use Bitcoin in that transaction, like Bitcoin becomes real, it feels tangible to them, and they are able to like start building their confidence in it. So for us, yeah, we see Tando as a tool, not just a tool that helps them not just trust Bitcoin as money, like when we tell them, but also it gives them an opportunity to verify because they can download and, do that transaction, and that's it. So it's just a matter of like giving people something that will help them verify Bitcoin and make it feel real to them.
But in doing this, my thinking right now as you're saying it is not like one shoe fits all size kind of thing. You have to find a way to, if this person is a merchant or possibly in the industry of example automobile, and this person is on mobile devices and this person is selling groceries, the way you connect with them will be on different levels. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be different challenges on how to also not really much of convincing or educate them. Like
Oh,
that's one thing I
you're talking
learned
about
about sales.
education.
Good. Don't try to sell them to use. Educate them to use. That if they're not willing, they go the full length of just getting involved and also definitely bringing on board other people. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
good. Whoa, that's really great to learn. Now, personally, now this question I'm trying to coin it in such a way. Now, what challenges have you faced personally in building these Bitcoin solutions in Africa? I don't want to
Uh,
mention the other question because it's going to be far, but for you, what challenges have you faced building this Bitcoin solution in Africa?
Honestly, I would say there's so much to do, you know, when building, but like there's very little time. So actually, that's a very big challenge to builders. Like every day you wake up, or you get all these cool ideas, and you already have these old ideas that you're yet to implement, but there's no time. So that's one big challenge. The other one would be, I would say regulation is it's a big gray area because we don't have proper regulations in place, especially here in Kenya. But nothing states that Bitcoin is illegal, so we are good there. So we are not doing anything illegal. At least
Awesome.
there's that. And there's been developments here. We recently, there's the VASP bill, the Virtual Assets Provider bill, and like the government asked us people, individuals, especially those of us who are in the Bitcoin and the broader crypto space, to participate, share our views, what how would we like them to regulate it? I mean, I'm not a big fan of
Yes, so,
regulation,
so
but
that they'll be able to put up a policy that both works
yes.
for the government and is also helping the vast
Uh-huh. So we are seeing progress. Probably by end of year, they would have made a decision on how to go about this whole industry. So we are very hopeful on that. And at
Let me
least it's
ask if
still,
it's let me ask I'm very sorry I cut you there, but let me ask this if it's the same as Nigeria, and this is not taunting anybody, all right? Allegedly, as most podcasters will say, but taking off the joke, is it the same viewpoint? Like these people wants to create policy, they want to create regulation, they want to create all these things, but they don't truly understand what Bitcoin is fully. Are you experiencing that as well? Which is also creating limitation to the degree of how they come in as policymakers. I don't know, is that same over there as well?
yeah, of course. Like most of these people, they don't know what's happening. For them, I feel like if I'm being honest, I just feel they want to tax it because it's a new opportunity for them to make money. And they've
Extra
seen
money
a
for
new industry where they can make money. So it's like, yeah, we are jumping on it, but they truly do not understand Bitcoin and the essence and like the benefits it can provide to their countries. So yeah, it's not just in Nigeria, it's in Kenya as well. And I feel like we have
Wow.
a very big task there to sit down with these people, like educate them. Someone should come up with a Bitcoin education program for policymakers, for people in these like roles, they're the ones who are making rules. I think it's very critical, especially at this point. So
Very.
yeah, need we need more
Very.
education in those
Because
sectors.
once they can first of all, once they can understand it, that's the first, then accept it, policy making will be very easier for them, and the swiftness of operation using Bitcoin and its technology will be very, very easy. They just need to
Exactly.
understand it first. Yeah.
Yeah, and imagine the benefits that that would bring to,
For the
Africa
country, for the
as a
continent,
whole.
thank you
Yeah, for
very
the
much.
country, for the continent, trading with each other. We would thrive. We would not need loans from IMF or like these other Western countries. We don't need that. Africa is so rich in resources. We are so
Sure, sure.
talented. We are so smart. Like some of the smartest people there in Africa.
Just
So,
sorry, I went on. I'm just passionate about that particular topic because I went on the national TV some months back, and I was like, I wish about 10 years ago, or when there was the new, or when Bitcoin started coming into Nigeria, not when, but when people started getting it in the mainstream. I think that was about 2015, 2016. I was like, imagine we took about just 1% of a national reserve, whatever amount it is. Do you know it being, I think Bitcoin was about 300 to $700 about that time.
wow.
Imagine what 1% would have been for whatever country it is.
Right?
You understand?
Like,
So they should
yeah.
view it from that point of view that what if we actually took it upon ourselves, just even if it's 0.1% of our reserve, and we got into Bitcoin, we'd have gone how many thousand percent growth by now. So I think that's just something that they need to see more light on.
Yeah, I wish like our governments, would see that. But again, I say if you're a Bitcoiner and you've already seen it, you don't even have to wait for the powers that be. That is why it's very important to do and contribute in whatever way you can. Like you're
Sure,
doing
sure.
BitKwa, you're running your community, you're educating, you're doing this podcast. I'm building Tando. So like let's just start. Let's just do it. Everything
They'll
else
catch
will
up.
follow. Yeah, it will catch up. And they always say if regulation no innovation will always move faster than regulation
True.
because if the regulators were the innovators, I don't know, there's something, but yeah,
They want
innovation will
everything
always move fast.
perfected before they can get started on anything,
Exactly,
and
so
nothing will
let's
get
just
done.
nothing.
Nothing will
So
get done.
yeah, so we should just keep pushing. Let's not wait for them, and let's like take
Awesome,
the
man.
lead.
I've really learned a lot on this section, and I hope you viewers are you've gotten value as well based on what Sabina has shared so far. Now, from the BitKwa headquarter right now, we're gonna ask one question, and we want you to think through it as deep as possible because we want people to take this away. Are you ready?
Yes.
If you were to describe Bitcoin in one sentence, what will it be? Your time starts now.
That's so simple for me. Bitcoin is healing energy. That's how I would put it.
Healing energy.
Yeah, it's healing the world.
Oh,
It's
awesome.
I don't know how to
Bitcoin is healing
explain this.
energy.
Yeah, it is healing energy because we are getting out. The old system is it's rotting right now. It's decaying. It's in its last stages. It's dying. But then here comes Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is saving us and it's healing us. Like all those years of oppression by the system, all those years of people like the minority communities being locked out, like they're coming to an end, and we're finally
Giving the
gonna
power
be
back to them.
yeah, we're giving the power back to them, and we're gonna be a
Thank you
healed,
so, so much.
universe.
Thank you
You
so
know
much.
the fiat system,
No,
like
go
that's
ahead, please.
the root cause of all evil, like from diseases, because they control the health system, the drugs that they put in your body, they
Sure.
control the food, they control the education system. So like you
Sure.
can never win in this system because that's how it was designed to be
Keep
against
you
you. So
down.
no matter how
Yeah.
hard you work, no matter how genuine you are, no matter how good you take care of yourself, like the system will always come and eat you. But like Bitcoin is changing that, and that's why I'm saying like it's healing the world, and we're gonna thrive as a humanity, and yeah, I'm super excited for to see how like the space will be in 10 to 20 years, how the world will change. I'm excited to see the fiat devils being exposed. I cannot wait to see that and the downfall, just like to witness that. But yeah, I would say Bitcoin is healing energy, and I'm happy to be part of it, and I'm happy to see more Africans, taking lead and using Bitcoin because it's about time.
Thank you very much, Sabina. I was just ruminating on that, not because I want it to be the point of focus for this episode. It just dawned on me as well. I'm like, is the healing energy, and the way you explained it is very fundamental, is very key. Because who controls the money controls the people,
Controls you.
controls the
Yeah.
people, because the money has influence in other industry, and if they can control the industry, control the food, they control what you eat, they control how the medication you get and the likes. So I'll say thank you so much, Sabina, from first of all learning about the scam that they introduced Bitcoin as to us. I had my
Yeah.
fair share of that. Don't let me bore you with it. And having to take it upon yourself. And that is where the awareness come in, like, oh, I lost money. You didn't lose money, but your friends did, and you decided that because of that, you're going to educate yourself. That's the first level, or let me say the second level, actually, right? Because you
Yeah.
went from uh, I can't recall the word right now, but from becoming unconscious, or being unconscious incompetent, to now becoming conscious competent, or conscious incompetent, to now
Yes.
becoming conscious competent, to the degree that you are now, or you've built a product that don't just educate people, that people can use. I'll say
Yeah.
thank you so much for that. That is a great journey for people and for you. And I believe that if people as well can go through that part, have their own personal story and own it, is a good one. I'll say thank you so much for giving us the three values of this world. I think your time, your money, because definitely I've taken some part of Bitcoin that you would have used to make some Bitcoin right now. So your time, your money, and your knowledge. Thank you so much for giving us your
Thank
TMK. All right, so I would say that is it for this episode, and go use Tando because, and by the way, you told me Tando is coming globally very soon. We are waiting for it. I know this is
Very
just an
soon.
MVP for
Yeah.
now, so we are waiting for Tando in continent of Africa and globally. Yes or yes?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank
All
you so
right.
much. Thank you so much for
All right.
having me.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, download Tando. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can still use Tando to support your friends in Kenya, send money to Kenya, book your safaris in Kenya. You can use Tando. So go check out our website at tando.me. We have everything there. You can download the app from there, learn more about our story. And if you have any questions, Our socials are there, and I think you're gonna put my socials. I'm Waithira
I'm
on
gonna
Twitter.
pin it there as well. I'm not
Yeah,
just
and
gonna put it
tag.
in the description. I'm gonna put it on. They can see it as well.
Yeah, so you can reach out to me if you have questions. Let's chat and let's all keep, pushing the mission, pushing Satoshi's mission and vision forward. Let's go Team Bitcoin.
All right, so guys, go play with the firstborn of Sabina. That is where I'm gonna close today. Have a great one, guys. And if you want to support us, you can go on our website on bitqwa.org/donation, and you can give a little sat. And if you want to give us like 5 or 10 Bitcoin, we will somewhat gladly accept it.
I
Right?
also
So
want to
thank you
be
very much,
part of
everyone.
that.
See you on the next episode, and that is it for now.
Bye, guys.